Ryan Carter checked his scanner one more time. The moon below looked empty and quiet. Gray rocks stretched out in every direction, lit by the pale light of two distant suns. This was supposed to be a simple job. Land, collect some rock samples, take readings, and move on to the next system. Easy work for an explorer who had been doing this for 3 years. He guided his small ship down through the thin atmosphere. The landing gear touched the surface with barely a bump. Ryan smiled. After all this time, he could land with his eyes closed. He pulled on his helmet and checked the seal. The air outside was breathable but thin. Better to play it safe. The cargo door opened with a hiss. Ryan stepped out onto the rocky surface, his boots crunching on loose gravel. Earth was so far away now. Sometimes he wondered if he would ever see home again. But that was the life of a deep space explorer. You went where others had never been. You saw things no human had ever seen. It was lonely work, but Ryan loved it. He walked about 50 meters from his ship and knelt down. The rocks here were different colors, layers of red and black and gray. His scanner beeped as it recorded data. Volcanic activity, probably millions of years ago. Nothing special, but Earth wanted records of everything. You never knew what might be useful someday. The warning alarm made him jump. Ryan looked up at the sky. 3 ships were dropping through the clouds, moving fast. They were not human ships. The design was all wrong, with sharp edges and dark metal that seemed to eat the light. His heart started beating faster. First contact protocol said to stay calm, show no weapons, and try to communicate. Ryan stood up slowly and raised both hands. The ships circled above him like birds of prey. One of them landed about 20 meters away. It was bigger than his ship, much bigger. A door opened in its side and a ramp extended down to the ground. The creatures that came down the ramp were like nothing Ryan had ever imagined. They walked on 2 legs like humans, but there the similarity ended. Their skin was covered in scales that shifted colors from green to black. Their heads were long and narrow with eyes that had vertical slits for pupils. When they opened their mouths, Ryan saw rows of sharp teeth. They looked like the dinosaurs from Earth's ancient past, but these dinosaurs carried weapons and wore armor. 4 of them surrounded him. They were taller than Ryan, maybe 7 feet high. Their weapons looked like rifles, but with a strange blue glow. One of them made a sound that was half hiss, half growl. A device on its belt flashed and a voice came out speaking English. Identify yourself. What species are you? What is your purpose here? Ryan tried to keep his voice steady. My name is Ryan Carter. I am human, from the planet Earth. I am a peaceful explorer conducting scientific research. The creatures looked at each other. The leader made more sounds and the translator spoke again. Human, Earth, these words are not in our database. You will come with us. Your ship will be secured. Do not resist. Ryan had no choice. 2 of the creatures grabbed his arms. Their grip was strong, like bands of steel. They walked him up the ramp into their ship. The inside was dark and smelled like metal and something else, something animal. They pushed him into a small room and the door closed behind him. He heard it lock. The room had no windows. A bench ran along one wall. A dim light came from somewhere in the ceiling. Ryan sat down and tried to think. Earth had only developed faster than light travel 5 years ago. The galaxy was much bigger and more crowded than anyone had expected. But Earth had been careful. Send out small exploration ships. Map the systems. Avoid contact until ready. Now Ryan had been caught by aliens, and from the look of their weapons they were not friendly. He felt the ship lift off. His stomach did a little flip as they left the moon's weak gravity. Where were they taking him? What did they want? Ryan closed his eyes and forced himself to breathe slowly. Panicking would not help. He needed to stay calm and alert. Hours passed. Maybe 6 or 7, hard to tell without his equipment. The door finally opened and 2 guards came in. They grabbed Ryan and pulled him out into a corridor. The walls were lined with more dark metal. Other creatures passed by, all of the same reptilian species. Some of them stopped and stared at Ryan. He saw their eyes widen slightly, saw them take a step back. Fear? No, that did not make sense. Why would such powerful creatures fear a single unarmed human? They brought him to a large room filled with strange equipment. In the center was a chair that looked like something from a dentist's office if dentists worked on aliens. A creature in a white coat stood next to it. This one seemed older, with deeper colors in its scales. It made sounds and the translator spoke. I am Dr. Zara, lead xenobiologist of the Kryloth Empire. You will sit. We will conduct tests. You will not be harmed if you cooperate. Ryan sat in the chair. Metal bands came out and locked around his wrists and ankles. He tried not to let his fear show. Dr. Zara moved around him, running devices over his body. Lights blinked and machines beeped. She took a sample of his blood with a device that did not even hurt. Every so often she would stop and make sounds that Ryan guessed were notes or observations. After what felt like hours, the bands released. The guards pulled Ryan to his feet. Dr. Zara was looking at a screen on the wall, her head tilted to one side. She seemed confused. She turned and looked at Ryan with those strange vertical pupils. Your genetic structure is unlike anything in our database. You do not match any known species. You share markers with thousands of different life forms, but you are none of them. This is impossible. Every species has an evolutionary tree, a history we can trace. You have none. Where did you come from? Ryan spoke carefully. My species evolved on Earth. We have never met any other intelligent species until very recently. We are new to space travel. Dr. Zara made a sound that might have been laughter or might have been something else. Impossible. Your technology shows signs of advanced development. Your biology shows markers of predatory evolution at the apex level. But you are alone? Your species traveled space without ever meeting others? That cannot be. It is true, Ryan said. We built our ships, developed our technology all on our own. We only recently discovered faster than light travel. Dr. Zara stared at him for a long moment. Then she turned to the guards. Take him to holding cell 7. Maximum security. I need to report this to the commander. The guards pulled Ryan out of the room. As they walked through the corridors, more of the Kryloth stopped to watch. Ryan noticed something strange. Every single one of them kept their distance. They pressed against the walls to let him pass. Their eyes followed him with an intensity that made his skin crawl. It was not curiosity. It was something else, something primal. The holding cell was larger than the first room, but just as bare. A bed, a toilet, a small table. The door sealed shut and Ryan was alone again. He sat on the bed and put his head in his hands. Somewhere out there, Earth waited. His family waited. His friends waited. Did they know he had been captured? Would they come looking for him? Or was he lost forever in the vastness of space? Ryan looked at his hands. Just normal human hands. Nothing special about them. Nothing that should make aliens afraid. But he had seen that fear in their eyes. The great predators of the Kryloth Empire, with their sharp teeth and their weapons and their mighty ships, were afraid of him. He did not understand why, and that scared him more than anything else. The station where they held Ryan was massive. Through the small window in his cell door, he could see creatures of different species passing by. Some walked on 2 legs, others on 4 or 6. Some had fur, others had scales or skin that looked like stone. The galaxy was more diverse than Earth had ever imagined, and Ryan was seeing it from inside a prison cell. 3 days passed. Guards brought him food twice a day. The food was edible but strange, nothing like anything from Earth. Ryan ate it anyway. He needed to keep his strength up. He exercised in his cell, doing push-ups and sit-ups to pass the time. He thought about home constantly. His sister would be worried. His crewmates would have reported him missing by now. On the 4th day, the door opened. A tall creature stepped in. This one was different from the Kryloth. It looked almost cat-like, with golden fur and large green eyes. It walked on 2 legs and wore a uniform with many badges. The translator on its belt spoke in a female voice. My name is Commander Saren of the Vasari clans. I have come to see the human with my own eyes. You may sit. I mean you no harm. Ryan sat on his bed. Saren remained standing near the door. She studied him with those large eyes. He noticed she kept her distance, just like the Kryloth guards. After a moment, she spoke again. I have read the reports from Dr. Zara. Your DNA is a mystery, but there is something else, something the reports do not explain. When I look at you, my instincts tell me I am facing a predator, a dangerous one. My people are warriors. We have fought across this galaxy for 1,000 years. We fear nothing. Yet when I stand near you, something old inside me says to be careful. Do you understand what I am telling you? Ryan shook his head. I am just a man. I explore planets and collect data. I have no weapons. I have done nothing to threaten anyone here. Saren's tail moved slowly behind her, like a cat deciding whether to pounce or flee. It is not what you do. It is what you are. Every predator species I have encountered reacts to you the same way. The Kryloth, the Vasari, the Chithrax. We all feel it. Yet the prey species, the herbivores and the peaceful ones, they feel nothing. They see you as just another alien. This is significant. This means something. Before Ryan could respond, another figure appeared at the door. This one was human. Ryan's heart jumped. She was young, maybe in her late 20s, with dark skin and eyes that looked intelligent and curious. She wore civilian clothes and carried a data pad. "Commander Saren, I am Dr. Helena Grant. The Galactic Science Consortium sent me to investigate this matter. I need to speak with the prisoner." Saren stepped aside. Helena entered the cell and looked at Ryan. Her face showed relief and concern. "Another human. I cannot believe it. We thought we were the only ones out this far. What is your name?" "Ryan Carter. Explorer, 3rd class, Earth Survey Fleet." The words came out in a rush. After days of speaking to aliens, hearing another human voice felt like water in a desert. Helena sat down next to him on the bed. "I have been studying at a university on the frontier for 2 years. When Earth made first contact, I was already here. The consortium recruited me because I know about human biology. Now they want me to figure out why every predator in the galaxy seems afraid of us." "Are you saying this happens to you too?" Ryan asked. Helena nodded. "Yes, but not as strong. With you, the effect is much more powerful. Dr. Zara has been testing your blood, your hormones, your genetic markers. She found something interesting. You have extremely high levels of certain proteins and chemicals that are associated with predatory behavior. Much higher than mine. Much higher than most humans. Do you have a military background?" "My family does," Ryan said. "My father was a soldier. So was his father. 7 generations back, all military. But I chose exploration instead." 7 generations. Helena typed notes on her datapad. "That is significant. Genetic selection for combat traits. Physical resilience. Stress response. Your body is built for survival in hostile conditions, more so than average humans. That might explain why the predator response is stronger with you." Over the next week, Helena visited Ryan every day. Sometimes Dr. Zara came with her. The 2 scientists worked together, comparing notes and running more tests. Ryan gave blood samples, did physical exercises while they monitored him, answered endless questions about Earth and human history. Slowly, a picture began to form. Helena explained it to him one evening. They sat in his cell, now filled with books and data screens that she had brought him. Every species in the galaxy evolved with certain patterns. Predators developed ways to recognize other predators. It is about survival. You need to know if the creature you are looking at is prey or a threat. Most species use similar signals. Eye position, body shape, movement patterns, chemical signals. Over millions of years, these recognition systems became standardized across the galaxy. But humans evolved separately, Ryan said. Exactly. Earth was isolated. Your evolution followed its own path. But here's the strange part. Humans hit almost every predator marker by accident. Your forward-facing eyes, your upright posture, your lack of obvious weapons which suggest intelligence and pack hunting. You even produce chemicals similar to what predators release when they hunt. All of this is coincidence, but to alien predators, their instincts see you and think apex predator. Top of the food chain, dangerous. Ryan absorbed this. So I am not actually dangerous. I just look dangerous to them. You are dangerous, Helena said quietly. Humans are dangerous. We just do not think about it because we grew up around other humans. But Ryan, think about Earth. Think about what our planet is like. Predators everywhere. Lions, tigers, bears, sharks, crocodiles, snakes. Thousands of ways to die. Most planets in the galaxy are not like that. Most habitable worlds are much gentler. Species evolve in stable environments. Earth was a nightmare. Dr. Zara came to visit them. She looked tired. Her scales were duller than usual. I have been studying Earth's database. Your world is classified as a Class 12 death world. Do you understand what this means? Out of thousands of habitable planets, only a handful are this hostile. Your species should not have survived to develop intelligence. You should have been extinct millions of years ago. But we did not go extinct, Ryan said. No, you did not. You adapted. You evolved. Zara sat down, which was unusual for her. She usually kept her distance. Your species has capabilities that seem impossible to us. You can run for hours without stopping. Your body cools itself through water secretion. You heal from injuries that would kill most species. Your immune system is so aggressive it sometimes attacks your own body. You can eat foods that are poisonous to other species. You can survive in extreme temperatures. All of this because your world forced you to adapt or die, Helena added. And there is one more thing. Humans are persistence hunters. Most predators chase prey and either catch it quickly or give up. Humans do not give up. We follow prey for days if necessary. We walk them to death. That psychological trait, that refusal to quit. That is what makes other predators nervous. You do not look like you will ever stop. Ryan thought about his ancestor, who had walked across continents, who had hunted mammoths across ice fields, who had survived plagues and wars and famines. He thought about the human spirit that looked at the stars and decided to reach them. Helena was right. Humans did not know how to quit. What happens now? He asked. Dr. Zara stood up. Now we present our findings to the Galactic Council. They will decide what to do about humanity. The Galactic Council chamber was enormous. Ryan had never seen a room so large. Thousands of seats rose in circular tiers around a central platform. Each seat held a different species. Some he recognized from his time on the station. Others were completely new to him. Creatures with wings, creatures that floated in bubbles of liquid, creatures that looked like walking crystals. The diversity was overwhelming. Ryan stood on the central platform next to Helena. Dr. Zara stood nearby. Commander Saren was in the audience somewhere. The council had gathered to discuss the human question. What to do about a species that triggered predator instincts across the galaxy. A tall being made of what looked like stone spoke first. Its voice was deep and slow. We have reviewed the scientific reports. The human species evolved on an isolated world. Their DNA does not match any known genetic lineage. They trigger recognition responses in predatory species but not in prey species. The question before this council is simple. Are humans a threat to galactic peace? A Kryloth representative stood up. Ryan recognized Commander Valrek from the station. The Kryloth Empire believes humans should be monitored closely. We propose that Earth be quarantined. No human ships beyond their home system. No contact with other species until we understand them better. This is not punishment. This is caution. Another voice spoke, this one coming from a bubble of water. Inside the bubble was a creature that looked like a jellyfish with multiple eyes. The Chithrex Collective agrees. Humans evolved on a death world. Their history shows constant warfare. They have weapons that can destroy their own planet. Such a species cannot be trusted to join galactic society. The risk is too great, Helena stepped forward. With respect, that is not fair. Yes, humans have fought wars. Yes, Earth is dangerous, but we also have art and music and literature. We have built civilizations. We have learned to cooperate despite our differences. Judge us by our actions, not by your instinctive reactions. A gentle voice spoke from the left side of the chamber. The speaker was covered in soft green fur and had large, kind eyes. I am Speaker Lin of the Peaceful Union. My people are herbivores. We have never hunted, never killed for food. When we look at humans, we see no threat. We see intelligence and curiosity. We see a young species trying to find its place in the galaxy. The predator species fear you because of their own nature, not because of yours. This is not reason to imprison an entire species. Commander Saren stood up in the audience. The Vasari clans have fought every major predator species in this galaxy. We know what a true threat looks like. Humans are dangerous, yes, but danger is not the same as evil. My people respect strength. We respect warriors. Humans have both. They should be welcomed, not feared. The debate continued for hours. Ryan stood silent, listening to thousands of beings argue about his species' future. Some wanted humans isolated. Some wanted them integrated slowly. Some wanted full acceptance right away. The council was divided and no solution seemed possible. Then alarms began to sound. Red lights flashed throughout the chamber. The stone being that led the council raised its hand for silence. We have a priority emergency. Attack on Nexus Prime. The Kraken have returned. The chamber erupted in chaos. Beings shouted and moved toward exits. Ryan looked at Helena. What are the Kraken? Her face had gone pale. The worst thing in known space. They are creatures that live in the void between stars. Part biological, part technological. No one knows where they came from. They attack randomly, destroying stations and ships. No one has ever defeated them in battle. When the Kraken come, you run or you die. Commander Saren appeared beside them. Nexus Prime is a major trade hub. Millions of beings live there. If it falls, the economic damage will spread across a dozen systems. The Council is scrambling its defense fleet, but it will take time to organize. Ryan made a decision. Contact Earth, tell them we need help. Helena stared at him. Earth's fleet is tiny compared to the Council forces. What can we possibly do? We can try, Ryan said. Humans are good at trying. 3 days later, Ryan stood on the bridge of a Vasari warship heading toward Nexus Prime. The journey through faster than light travel made his stomach queasy, but he forced himself to focus. Saren stood next to him, her tail moving nervously. "Your fleet has arrived," she said, pointing at the view screen. 30 ships. That is all Earth could send? Ryan looked at the human vessels. They were smaller than the Council ships, less elegant in design. But he felt a surge of pride anyway. Earth had sent what it could. 30 ships full of humans who had volunteered to help strangers in a far corner of the galaxy. 30 ships, Ryan said. 30 ships full of beings who evolved on a death world, who never learned to quit, who will fight until they cannot fight anymore. That has to count for something. They dropped out of faster-than-light travel near Nexus Prime. The scene before them was chaos. The station was massive, a sphere 10 kilometers across with docking arms extending in every direction. Around it swarmed the Kraken. They looked like nothing Ryan had ever imagined. Part ship, part creature, black as the void with appendages that shifted and changed. There were hundreds of them, maybe thousands. They fired weapons that tore through the station's hull, causing explosions that lit up the darkness. Council ships fought back, but the battle was going badly. Every time they hit a Kraken with energy weapons, the creatures seemed to adapt. Their hulls changed, became resistant. Missiles that worked the first time failed the second. The Kraken were learning, evolving in real time. The human fleet moved into formation. Ryan listened to the communications channel. A voice he recognized spoke. "Captain Jake Morris, commander of the Earth Defense Ship Liberty. All ships, this is Morris. We have studied the Kraken tactics. They adapt to energy weapons. We switched to kinetic projectiles, old-fashioned bullets and missiles. No fancy technology for them to learn from. Let us show them how Earth does things." The human ships opened fire. Bullets streamed through space, solid metal moving at incredible speeds. The Kraken had not expected this. Their adaptive hulls, designed to deflect energy, could not stop physical impacts. Bullets punched through their bodies. Missiles exploded, sending shrapnel in every direction. But the Kraken were not stupid. They began to adapt even to this. Their hulls thickened. They started dodging with incredible speed. The human ships kept firing, kept adjusting their tactics. When bullets stopped working as well, they switched to explosive rounds. When the Kraken learned to avoid those, they tried cluster munitions that spread out over wide areas. Ryan watched, fascinated despite the danger. The human fleet was not winning. They were losing ships. He saw one explode, then another. But they did not retreat. They kept coming back, kept trying new things. It was what Helena had said. Persistence hunting. Humans did not have to win every exchange. They just had to keep going until the prey could not run anymore. Commander Seren watched with wide eyes. They are insane. They should retreat. They have lost 6 ships already. They will not retreat, Ryan said quietly. That is not how humans work. We evolved to chase prey across continents, to track animals for days without stopping, to keep trying until we succeed or die. The Kraken think this is a battle, but humans see it as a hunt. The battle raged for hours. The human fleet took terrible losses, but they never stopped adapting, never stopped fighting. And slowly something changed. The Kraken began to pull back. Not retreating exactly, but hesitating. They had never faced an enemy like this before. An enemy that would not quit no matter how many times they were hit. Ryan felt something stir in his chest. Pride, yes, but also understanding. This was why predators feared humans. Not because humans were the strongest or fastest, but because humans never stopped. Once they decided on a target, they would follow it to the ends of the universe. The Kraken, for all their power and mystery, recognized this. They recognized apex predators when they saw them. The battle for Nexus Prime lasted 3 weeks. Not 3 hours or 3 days, but 3 full weeks of constant fighting. The human fleet refused to leave. Even when their numbers dropped to 20 ships, then 15, then 10. Even when Captain Morris's Liberty took critical damage and had to retreat for repairs. The humans stayed and fought. Ryan watched it all from the Vasari ship. Commander Saren had offered him a place on her bridge, saying he deserved to see what his people were doing. Every day brought new tactics from both sides. The Kraken adapted to human weapons. The humans switched to ramming attacks, using their ships as missiles. The Kraken tried to overwhelm them with numbers. The humans set traps using debris fields and the station itself for cover. Helena worked in the medical bay, treating wounded from all species. She sent Ryan messages when she could. The other species are amazed. They keep asking me why humans will not give up. I tell them it is because we cannot. It is not in our nature. They do not understand that, but they respect it. On the 18th day, something changed. The Kraken began to retreat. Not all at once, but gradually. They pulled back from the station, regrouped at the edge of the system. The Council forces, reinforced by ships from a dozen worlds, pressed the advantage. The human fleet, now down to 8 ships, continued to harry the enemy. Ryan stood next to Saren as they watched the Kraken withdraw. The commander's tail swished slowly. They are leaving. The Kraken have never retreated before. In 500 years of records, they attack and either win or are destroyed. They never retreat. They recognize us, Ryan said, the same way your people recognize humans as predators. The Kraken, whatever they are, have the same instincts. They see an enemy that will chase them forever. So they are leaving while they still can. Saren looked at him with those large green eyes. Your people paid a terrible price. 22 ships lost, hundreds of humans dead, for a station that is not even yours, for a people you had never met before. That is what humans do, Ryan said. We protect. We fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. It is who we are. The Kraken vanished into deep space. Nexus Prime was saved, though damaged. The Council fleet began rescue operations. Human ships joined them, helping to pull survivors from the wreckage. Ryan watched crews from Earth work alongside aliens they had never met, speaking through translators, sharing water and medical supplies. A week later, the Galactic Council reconvened. This time the mood was different. Ryan stood again on the central platform, but now he wore a uniform that Captain Morris had given him. A simple blue jacket with Earth's flag on the shoulder. Helena stood beside him, also in uniform. They were not prisoners now. They were representatives. The stone being that led the Council spoke first. The Battle of Nexus Prime has given us much to consider. The human species demonstrated courage and sacrifice. They also demonstrated something else. The ability to persist in the face of overwhelming odds. This Council must now decide, will we welcome humanity into our community, or will we continue to treat them as a curiosity and a threat? Commander Valrek of the Kryloth stood. Ryan tensed, remembering how Valrek had wanted to keep him locked up. But the commander's voice was different now. The Kryloth Empire changes its position. We witnessed human warriors in battle. They fight with honor. They do not surrender. They protect the weak. These are qualities we respect. We vote for full membership. The jellyfish creature in its water bubble spoke next. The Chithrex Collective must also reconsider. We feared human violence. We saw only danger. But at Nexus Prime, we saw something different. Humans did not fight for conquest or glory. They fought to save lives. This is not the behavior of mindless predators. This is the behavior of a civilized species. We withdraw our objections. One by one, representatives stood and voiced their support. Even those species who had initially feared humans now spoke in favor. The battle had changed everything. It was not just that humans had helped win. It was how they had fought. With determination and courage, yes, but also with compassion and sacrifice. Speaker Lynn of the Peaceful Union smiled with her gentle eyes. I told you that predator species feared humans because of their own nature. Now I think all species can see humans for what they truly are. Not monsters from a death world, but people who survived impossible odds and became stronger for it. We are honored to welcome you. The vote was called. Thousands of beings pressed buttons on their seats. The results appeared on screens throughout the chamber. The motion passed with overwhelming support. Earth was granted full membership in the Galactic Council. Humans would be welcome on all Council worlds. Human ships could travel freely through known space. The age of isolation was over. But there was one condition. Helena explained it to Ryan after the session ended. They stood on a balcony overlooking the Council station, watching ships come and go. The Council wants humans to serve as integration officers, at least one human on every major fleet and station. The idea is that other species need to get used to us. If we work together, the instinctive fear will fade over time. Ryan understood the wisdom in this, and it gives them access to our perspective. When conventional thinking fails, they can ask the humans, what would someone from a death world do? Helena nodded. Exactly. They have realized that our different evolution makes us valuable. We see problems differently. We approach solutions differently. The galaxy has been stable for so long that they have forgotten how to adapt. Humans never forgot because we never had that luxury. Commander Saren joined them on the balcony. Ryan Carter, the Council has an offer for you. They want you to return to Station Varric. Not as a prisoner, but as an officer. You would work with Dr. Zara, helping other species understand humans, teaching them about Earth, showing them that predators can also be protectors. Ryan thought about the offer. Return to the place where he had been imprisoned. But this time as a free man, as a representative of his species. It felt right somehow, coming full circle. What about exploration? That is what I was trained to do. Saren's tail moved, and what Ryan had learned was her version of a smile. You would lead survey missions. Mixed crews, humans and aliens working together. We need people like you on the frontier. People who refuse to quit when things get difficult. Besides, your DNA still matches no known species. That makes you perfect for finding new ones. Ryan looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there was Earth, his home, his family. But here was a galaxy that needed him. A community that had accepted his people despite their fears. He thought about the human ships that had fallen defending Nexus Prime. Those people had given their lives so that others could live. Could he do any less? I accept, he said. Helena hugged him. Earth will be proud. We all will. Dr. Zara appeared at the balcony entrance. Her scales had returned to their bright colors. Commander Carter, we should discuss your new position. There is much work to do. Many species still have questions about humans. Some still feel that instinctive fear when they see you. We must help them understand. Ryan followed her inside. As he walked, he noticed other beings moving aside to let him pass. But it was different now. They did not flee in fear. They stepped aside with respect. They nodded as he went by. Some even smiled if their alien features allowed for smiling. The galaxy was changing. Humans were no longer unknown. They were no longer just a mystery to be solved. They were members of the community, bringing their unique gifts and their unique challenges. The predator species would learn to overcome their instincts. The prey species would learn that not all predators were threats. And humans would learn to live alongside thousands of different cultures and species. It would not be easy. Nothing worthwhile ever was. But humans had never chosen the easy path. They had evolved on a world that tried to kill them every day. They had reached for the stars when others said it was impossible. They had stood and fought when retreat would have been wiser. Ryan Carter smiled as he walked through the council station. His DNA might not match any known species, but that was fine. He would help write a new chapter in galactic history, and if there was one thing humans were good at, it was making the impossible happen. 5 years had passed since the Battle of Nexus Prime. Ryan Carter stood on the bridge of the survey ship Horizon, watching an unknown planet spin slowly below them. The ship was a joint project between Earth and the Council, combining human engineering with alien technology. The crew was mixed too. 12 humans, 8 Visari, 5 Kryloth, 3 Chithrex, and 2 beings from the Peaceful Union. It had taken time for the crew to learn to work together. The Kryloth still felt that instinctive unease around humans, though they hid it well now. The Visari treated humans as equals, fellow warriors worthy of respect. The Chithrex had been the hardest to win over, but now they appreciated human creative thinking when problems arose. And the Peaceful Union members seemed to genuinely enjoy human company, unburdened by predator instincts. Lieutenant Sarah Kim, Ryan's second-in-command, stepped up beside him. She was young, only 25, but sharp and capable. One of the new generation of humans who had grown up knowing about the galaxy beyond Earth. Scans show the planet is habitable. Oxygen atmosphere, liquid water, moderate temperatures, but no signs of intelligent life. Let us go down and take a look, Ryan said. That is what we are here for. The landing party consisted of Ryan, Sarah, a Visari warrior named Krell, and a Kryloth scientist named Talon. They took a shuttle down through the clouds and landed in a clearing surrounded by strange purple vegetation. The plants moved slightly in the breeze, their leaves making a rustling sound like whispers. Ryan stepped out first, his scanner already taking readings. The air smelled sweet like flowers from Earth, but different somehow. Krell came next, her hand near her weapon but relaxed. She had learned that not everything in the galaxy was a threat. Talon emerged with his scientific equipment. Already fascinated by the plant life, Sarah brought up the rear, documenting everything with her camera. They explored for several hours. The planet was beautiful, full of life but nothing dangerous. No predators, no toxic plants, nothing that would harm them. It was the kind of world most council species came from. Gentle and safe. Ryan found himself thinking about Earth, with its hurricanes and earthquakes and venomous snakes. This planet was paradise compared to home. As they walked back toward the shuttle, Talon spoke. His translator made his voice sound curious. Commander Carter, I have been meaning to ask you something. Do you ever regret it? Your species evolved on such a harsh world. You face instinctive fear from half the galaxy. If you could change it, would you? Ryan thought about the question. Would he trade Earth for a world like this? Would he want to be a different species, one that fit neatly into galactic categories? He looked at his hands, at the scars from years of exploration. Each scar told a story. Each one represented a challenge overcome. No, he said finally. Earth made us who we are. The harshness taught us to be strong. The danger taught us to be careful. The constant struggle taught us never to give up. If we had evolved on an easy world, we would be different people. Maybe weaker, maybe less determined. I would not trade that. Krell made a sound that was her version of agreement. The Vasari have a saying. Steel is forged in fire. You cannot make a strong blade in a cool forge. Your species is strong steel, Commander, tempered by the hardest fire imaginable. They returned to the horizon and continued their journey. Over the next months, they discovered 3 more planets, 2 asteroid fields rich in minerals, and 1 space anomaly that would keep scientists busy for years. The crew worked together smoothly now, each species contributing their unique strengths. Ryan received regular reports from home. Earth was thriving. Thousands of young people signed up for the space program every year. Human settlements had been established on 5 council worlds. Trade was booming. The fear that humans once inspired had faded, replaced by curiosity and friendship. Children of different species played together on mixed colonies. Teachers from Earth taught in alien schools, and alien teachers came to Earth. Helena sent him messages often. She was back on Earth now, running the Xenobiology Institute. Her last message had made him smile. Ryan, you should see the new students. They are so excited about the galaxy. They want to explore, to meet new species, to make friends across the stars. The fear is gone. We are not the scary predators anymore. We are just people. Dr. Zara sent updates too. She had published 17 papers on human biology. Her work had helped other species understand humans better. The instinctive fear response was being studied in schools. Young aliens learned that their bodies might react to humans, but their minds could choose differently. Reason over instinct. Choice over programming. One day, the Horizon received a distress call. A colony ship had broken down in an unexplored system. They were stranded with failing life support. The nearest council rescue ship was days away. Ryan looked at his crew. We are only 6 hours out. We can make it, Sarah checked the navigation. The system is listed as dangerous. Unstable star, asteroid hazards, possible pirates. Regulations say we should wait for a military escort. Ryan smiled. When have humans ever followed the safe path? Set course. Maximum speed. Those people need help now. The rescue was difficult. They had to navigate through an asteroid field during a solar flare. The Horizon took damage. They lost 1 engine and part of their shielding. But they reached the colony ship and transferred all 300 passengers to safety. It took 12 hours of constant work. Every crew member pushed themselves to exhaustion. But when it was done, everyone was safe. The colony ship's captain was a being covered in soft feathers. She looked at Ryan with large, grateful eyes. You risked your ship and crew for strangers. Why would you do this? Ryan did not know how to explain it in a way she would understand. Because you needed help. That is enough reason for humans. Back on Station Varick for repairs, Ryan walked through corridors that had once been his prison. Now they were his workplace, his home away from home. He passed beings of dozens of species. Some nodded to him. Some stopped to talk. None fled in fear. The galaxy had changed so much in just 5 years. He found Commander Saren in the station's observation deck. She stood looking out at the stars, her tail moving slowly. Ryan Carter, I heard about your rescue mission. Reckless as always. Effective as always. Ryan corrected with a smile. Saren turned to face him. Do you remember when we first met? I stood at your cell door, afraid to come too close. My instincts told me you were dangerous. I am ashamed to admit how long it took me to overcome those instincts. But you did overcome them, Ryan said. That is what matters. Yes, and now I count humans among my closest friends. My daughter plays with human children at the colony school. She does not fear them. She does not even understand why anyone would. That is the future we are building. A galaxy where instinct does not control us, where different species work together despite their evolutionary programming. Ryan looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, the Kraken still lurked in the darkness. Somewhere, new mysteries waited to be discovered. Somewhere, species who had never met humans would react with fear when they first encountered them. The work was not done. It might never be done. But that was fine. Humans knew how to keep working, keep trying, keep pushing forward. What are you thinking about? Saren asked. I am thinking about how far we have come. When the Kryloth captured me, I thought my life was over. I was alone, scared, facing beings who saw me as a monster. Now look at us. Humans exploring the galaxy alongside dozens of species, working together, protecting each other. It is more than I ever dreamed possible. Saren's tail moved in her smile gesture. Your DNA still matches no known species, but that does not matter anymore. You are not defined by your genetics or your evolutionary history. You are defined by your choices. And humans have chosen to be protectors, explorers, friends. The galaxy is better for having you in it. Ryan thought about Earth, the death world that had forged humanity in fire. He thought about the long journey from frightened prisoner to respected officer. He thought about the crew of the Horizon, beings from different worlds working as one team. He thought about children of different species playing together, learning that differences could be celebrated rather than feared. The galaxy had been afraid of humans because predators recognized what they saw. Apex hunters who never quit, who chased their prey to the ends of the universe. But fear had given way to understanding. Yes, humans were predators. Yes, they came from a world of nightmares. Yes, their instinct was to persist no matter the cost. But those traits did not make them monsters. Those traits made them survivors. And in a vast, dangerous galaxy full of mysteries and challenges, survivors were exactly what the universe needed. Ryan Carter smiled and turned away from the window. His next mission would launch in a week. New systems to explore, new species to meet, new challenges to overcome. It was exactly what he wanted. It was what all humans wanted. Not conquest or domination, but the simple right to explore, to learn, to be part of something bigger than themselves. His DNA might match no known species, but his heart matched the heartbeat of the galaxy itself, and that was enough.